Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So as it's mentioned in the title of the video, today we're playing with the calligraphy inks by Ferris Wheel Press. So this collection is called Fanciful Events and I unboxed it in my last video, so if you want to check that out, will be a card right here. Before anything else actually, hi, my name is Bia and I'm part of the Ferris Wheel Press artist program, but this video is not sponsored, all opinions are my own. However, if you want to support my creative journey, you can use my code BABishkuArt for 10% off your next Ferris Wheel Press purchase. With all that spiel out of the way, so today I really wanted to play with these inks. I have been really excited to use these as soon as they were announced. I really like using opaque mediums, they are super fun. I was pretty excited about these. The color selection is quite pastel and very soft, so we have a soft baby blue, a very nice bubblegum pink, which is not, you'd not think it's pastel, but it's kind of pastel. We have a sort of beigey rose and also a very sage green. I tried my best to use all of them, and so the sweet Briar Rose, which is the color which is sort of a beigey rose, I used for the skin. The borrowed blue, which is a very nice baby blue, I used for the hat and some shadows and also her dress, and then pink hair and also green eyes. So I tried my best to incorporate all of the colors. And so this drawing was mostly to test out how it is to paint actually with these inks. So these inks are basically designed to work on black paper, so calligraphers can do beautiful things. I cannot do calligraphy to save my life, it's just really not my thing. I wish it was, but unfortunately it's not. And so I just wanted to test it out how it is to actually paint with them. I wanted to see how they layer, how their waterproof capabilities were, all that good stuff. So to start with that, I did a very watery base. I do this with pretty much any opaque medium that I use. I start with it pretty watery. I like how watercolor-y it feels, and that worked great. These inks work great, also just layered very thinly. They do very watercolor adjacent textures, which is very nice. I really like that aspect of those. And then I just started slowly pile up. These inks also travel quite a lot when you have a watery surface, which is super nice and something I did not expect at all. Totally caught me by surprise, but a very good surprise. I used my more nasty, so to speak, palette because these inks are waterproof, therefore will dry out in your palette, even though this is a porcelain one. I have one that's nicer. This one's my kinda I don't mind if it gets all messy type of palette. It was broken when it came in the mail and I tried to fix it very poorly, so it's nice to have a palette that I don't really mind getting messy. And so I just spread the hair, and here you can already see how it's very much opaque over the Sweet Briar Rose. That blue, it's very opaque, and I'll slowly start piling up the pink, and that will show through the blue, which was also super nice. So these inks are definitely very opaque, which is really cool. Regarding the drawing, this is a very simple witchy drawing. I had a dream that I went to a con and I got a witch hat that was way too big for me. So this was kind of what made me draw this. I really did not know what to draw. I just wanted something simple that would allow me to test out the inks. So I just drew a little girl witch with a very large hat. It's not my best drawing and it's not the worst, but it will do. So here I'm applying the sage, and with that I applied all the colors. I didn't use a lot of the sage, but definitely a very nice color if you want to do any florals around your lettering or even just drawing. I think I can see myself using these inks just by themselves if I want to do a more monochromatic painting. Even though they work together very nicely, since they are waterproof, they don't get muddy when you paint with them, which is very nice. But you can also mix with them. That was something I wanted to try. I tried mixing colors to see which was the darkest value I could get. The darkest I could get is a sort of powdery lilac, mixing the blue and the pink. I also tried mixing them all, and it just came a very muddy brown, which is normal. When you mix a bunch of colors, you tend to get brown. but the lilac-y color, I will use it in a second, it was very nice. So it was good to see that I could get mixtures, and they do work very the same when you mix them, so that was very nice to know. Something very nice is that they don't become shiny when they draw. I have a bunch of acrylic inks that do that. I hate when they do that. I don't know, it just becomes a plasticky feel that I don't really like. These become sort of powdery per se. They have a very matte finish, but they don't rub off on your finger or anything else, which is nice. And here you see the little lilac-y I was talking about. So I wanted to allow the piece to have more contrast, but it still wasn't a lot of contrast for me. In the end, I end up going with a little bit of a darker hue, but I'll talk about that when I get there. I am very, very happy with these inks. I definitely will see myself using them. I just really, really I was just waiting for Ferris Wheel Press to do something like this. I just really like opaque items, and even though I really enjoy drawing with their normal inks, them being waterproof sometimes can be a bit tricky when using them, and their inks are very easily reactivated as well. For example, when I use, I think it's Jelly Bean Blue, I adore that color. However, it always has to be the one that I use last, because if there is just the tiny bit of moisture on the paper, it will bleed and it will just be a nightmare. So it's always the last one, and always when I make sure the paper is fully dry. But that is something I got used to when using the inks that I've been using for, I think, over 3 years now. I think I started using these inks in 2020. So it's been 3 years since I've started using Ferris Wheel Press inks, so I'm pretty accustomed to them, but I also really enjoy having this option. I grabbed Grape Ice Pop, and I wanted to do a sort of a small lines. I did not want to go super heavy. Something very interesting that happened was that the ink that's below sort of absorbed the ink on top. So this is something I also wanted to test out, is how well their normal inks work with the calligraphy inks. And this might just be because I really piled up the inks, but they absorbed it and they made the ink very lighter. This color, Grape Ice Pop, is a very rich and deep purple, one of my favorites of all time from their original collection. It made so the ink was quite pastel, which it worked because the whole painting was pastel, so it wasn't that bad. It just created a darker hue, which was exactly what I wanted, to create a bit more contrast. But it was an interesting surprise. I don't know if it's because there were so many layers and the paint is a bit more powdery. I keep calling it powdery, but it's not chalky. It's just, it reminds me of a powdery color because it's so soft, it's quite smooth, but it does not become chalky. I just want to make that clear. I keep calling it powdery, probably not the best way to describe it. Something I also noticed in a few areas, especially in the big chunk on the hair that is purple, that's right beneath the hat on the outer side, it cracked a little bit. So I think if you tend to really pile it up, it might crack, but it's just tiny little fissures. I don't know how you say that, tiny little cracks. It became more apparent on when I applied the ink because it was absorbed into the cracks, but it was not too bad and it barely did any difference. It's just something that I noticed. So I think if you do a really big layer, so that bit has 3 layers I think of ink, quite thick, so that's probably it. This is the drawing. I really enjoyed it. It was a very nice and chill time, and the drawing turned out okay and cute, so that's all I could ask for. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you guys don't mind that's 2 Ferris Wheel Press videos. I will probably start doing twice a month videos because it's been quite busy and I just cannot do 4 videos a month, not even 3. Do let me know in the comments which of the inks is your favorite. I think the borrowed blue is still my favorite. I feel like I could paint a whole house with it and it would just look so cute and magical. The video with all the fairy tales of Alice is still in the making. I promise I will do it, but I'll try my best for the next video to not be Ferris Wheel Press. So let's see what I come up with, and if there's anything you want me to see do for the next video, do it, let me know, since now I have a bit more time between videos so I can check your comments. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments again what's your favorite, and you can use the code BBishkoArt to save 10% off your next Ferris Wheel Press order. Thank you so much for being here as always, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!